to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and you're about to listen to a futuristic metaphorical hypnosis session all about rewiring the brain, but also enhancing optimal health. And it actually uses a metaphor of nanotechnology. And nanotechnology is a real thing. It's the exploration of ultra small entities designed to enhance quite often health or biological changes. So it could be, for example, certain elements of biogenomics and editing genomes have an element of nanotechnology in it. But at a science fiction level, it's this idea of creating atomically small robots with functions that might be to repair cells, to do things that normally the human body does themselves. Now, the client I was working with really liked this metaphor, and they wanted to help in two key areas. One was the idea of rewiring their brain to reduce anxiety. And then the second was that they had inflammation and pain around their knees and their hips, and they were worried about their macula because a family member had age-related macular degeneration. So this has a powerful futuristic metaphor of using nanotechnology to enhance the body. Now, of course, this is a metaphor. There is no actual tiny nanobots taking place, but there's a very interesting study that took place, and you can find it on Google Scholar, where under hypnosis, they told certain participants that they had a very high dose of certain vitamins that would boost their immune system. And then later, when they measured their white blood cell count, there was an increase in the white blood cell count. So the body can absolutely react to hypnotic suggestions. And these hypnotic suggestions are all about rewiring the brain, and the brain can rewire. It's called neuroplasticity, and it can improve health. And you know it can improve health because you've been sick and then recovered. You've had a fever and got through that. You've cut yourself and your skin healed. So you know that can happen. This is just hypnotic suggestions to enhance that principle. It was created for an individual. It might be that you have no issues with your hips and your knees, but there's other areas that you want to kind of think about. So I would encourage you to get the most out of this session, to think of what would you like to enhance within you? What neuroplasticity benefits would you want? More confidence, more self-belief, and what health benefits would you like to have? Let's say, faster repair of muscles after a workout, or would you like a more improved digestive system? Whatever the issue is, think about that. That's priming your brain. So when you hear the hypnosis about the nanobots, you can think about the nanobots moving to that part of your body. It's also a fun thing to do to just Google image nanobots. That will give you an image of a tiny science fiction idea of what these nanotechnology robots look like. And then thinking of that picture while you listen to the hypnosis session will enhance the experience for you. If you are interested in exploring working with me, I would encourage you to check out my website, adamcox.co.uk, or look in the description for different ways in which you can work with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just feel your eyelids getting heavier and more relaxed. Breathing in a wonderful feeling of resourceful relaxation. And as you release, feeling any echoes of tension, worry or anxiety melting away and leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in that slow, steady breath. And just notice that the moment you think of the lower part of your lungs, your diaphragm, it's almost like your body and brain knows what to do. You breathe out deeper, and when you breathe in, you notice breathing lower. And because you're breathing in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation, the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you feel. And the more relaxed you feel, the deeper you breathe. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to imagine what it would be like to move forwards in time. Maybe that's 50 years, 100 years. So you're able to harness the technology that exists then to benefit your body and your mind as it is now. I want you to imagine floating forwards in time to a clinic. And as you approach the clinic, I want you to see a logo with the word nano somewhere in it. Maybe it's nanobot technology or something else. And this looks a very modern, futuristic building. And when you're there in the waiting room, I want you to notice an absence of any anticipation, and instead a wonderful feeling that everything is going to be fine. A deep inner knowing that you're in safe hands, that something wonderful not just can occur, but will occur. And just for a moment, while you're waiting, I want you to imagine those long, deep breaths. As I count down from 5 to 1, you will imagine each descending number facilitates a release, a letting go of those echoes of tension, enabling you to fully relax. Now, 5. On the outward breath, release any tension around your jaw, your forehead, any muscles in your face. That's it. And then 4. Focusing now on your neck, shoulders, all the way down the arms. As you breathe out, release. Just feel how limp and loose and heavy your arms are. And now focus 3. There on your chest and internal organs. As you breathe out, release your stomach, lungs, your heart, all the way down to your gut relaxes instantly. And then 2, focus on your legs. Almost like your legs are becoming limp, loose, relaxed. like you couldn't walk on them if you tried. That level of relaxation. And then one, from the tips of your toes, rippling up to the top of your head, and back down to the tips of your fingers. Feel a wonderful feeling there on that soft seating area in that futuristic waiting room. You feel a deep sense of relaxation and inner peace. And as you connect with that feeling of relaxation, you can scan your body and just know that on each outward breath you can release more if necessary. And I want you to get a feeling of what it would feel like to be in the future. Living in a place where technology has evolved into something extraordinary. Because in this future, there's a form of microscopic technology called nanotechnology. Tiny machines, so small, they are invisible to the naked eye. And they're measured in atoms rather than millimeters. Some people know them as nanobots. Millions, if not billions, of intelligent, microscopic helpers, each one designed with a single purpose: to repair, to restore, to optimize. I want you to imagine that a clinician there has taken a blood sample and they've done a very rapid scan, identifying all the parts of your body that could be improved. And then that diagnostic has been transferred into each and every one of these nanobots. The nanobots now have the first task of confirming areas for improvement. Imagine that you're led into a room within the clinic, a comfortable chair that maybe looks like a dentist chair, but 10 times more comfortable. And you feel safe and relaxed in this chair. And then you're given a mask, the kind of breathing mask that someone might have if they needed to breathe in pure oxygen. And you're told that the nanobots will enter your body in the easiest way possible. And just imagine as you breathe in that pure oxygen, breathing in through your nose into your lungs, and that as you breathe in slowly, you could imagine, because they can't be seen, a soft glowing mist of billions of microscopic nanobots flowing effortlessly into your lungs. And from there, into your bloodstream. And immediately, they begin their work. Because the blood test and the initial scan was just the starting point. And these nanobots are incredibly intelligent, each tiny nanobot, far more intelligent than any single human. And there's billions of them. And before doing anything, they begin by scanning. They move through your bloodstream, through your muscles, through tissues, through the nervous system. Scanning, diagnosing, prioritizing, just like the most advanced technology available. They analyze what needs attention first. They're figuring out, collectively, shared intelligence across all of them, where healing is needed, where repair is needed, and where tiny improvements can be made. And because they are atomic-sized, shape-shifting machines, each nanobot can transform instantly from a scanner to a builder, to a healer, to a repairer, to a rewiring of the brain specialist. And I want you to imagine, as you continue breathing in and breathing out there in that chair, in that futuristic clinic, in that room, that perhaps a few million of these nanobots now travel toward the brain, moving gently through neural pathways, scanning the networks that shape thoughts, emotions, and behavior. And they notice the pathways connected with confidence, courage, and calm. And they also notice the old pathways connected with anxiety and avoidance. And using technology far beyond what exists, they begin the rewiring. They are strengthening the circuits of courage, enhancing the pathways that remind you that you have the resources to handle anything outside your comfort zone. Because confidence is not the absence of anxiety. It's the knowledge that even if anxiety appears, you have the resources to handle it. And the nanobots, through their rewiring, strengthen that belief. And some of these nanobots also connect with your breathing system. They enhance the simple but powerful ability you already possess. Slow, steady breathing. And they strengthen a powerful connection. Whenever you breathe slowly, and whenever your outward breath is longer than your inward breath, your nervous system shifts towards calm. Your heart rate slows, your body relaxes, and anxiety naturally reduces. So these nanobots reinforce a useful pattern. When something feels outside the comfort zone, you breathe intentionally, slowly. You do the thing rather than avoid the thing. And by doing it, the anxiety fades faster. This fuels incremental, revolutionary change within. Progress builds on progress, builds on progress, compounding confidence. so that the next time you encounter something similar, the anxiety is already lower, because the brain learns quickly. This is manageable. This is safe. This is growth. And the nanobots strengthen that learning each time. And now other nanobots begin traveling toward the joints. Some are moving toward the knees, some toward the hips, and any other joints like ankles and elbows, even the tiny joints in your fingers and toes. And they're scanning the cartilage, the tendons, the ligaments and the tissues. And where there is wear, they begin repairing, restoring cartilage cells, improving lubrication. They're even enhancing the synovial fluid that allows the joints to move smoothly. Tiny, microscopic builders, rebuilding structures that support strength and flexibility. And as they work, the joints feel lighter, more supported, more fluid. And other nanobots travel through muscles, through connective tissue, through every system of the body. And as they do so, they are repairing damaged cells, clearing inflammation, restoring balance, and then some move toward the eyes, scanning the delicate cells responsible for vision. Everything around the optic nerve, the retina, even the macula. And they're supporting regeneration, maintenance, and protection. And I wonder if you could imagine them strengthening the health of the retina and all of the surrounding tissues. So much so that the systems responsible for vision remain supported, maintained, perhaps even enhanced. And once the most important repairs are completed, the nanobots shift their function. Their work doesn't stop at fixing problems. They begin improving, empowering, and enhancing, increasing energy production within cells, improving circulation, optimizing the nervous system. And as you imagine this taking place, I wonder if you can begin to feel a sense of revitalization, a feeling of being more energized, more capable, more alive. And before finishing, the nanobots activate one final program. Internally, they call it the Courage Protocol. That whenever something appears that once triggered hesitation, your brain now asks a different question. So instead of asking, how do I avoid this? The brain will start to intuitively think, how can I handle this? And because your brain now knows that you have the resources, you have the breath, you have the resilience, you're better able to simply move forward, calmly, steadily, confidently. And each time you do, confidence grows stronger, and anxiety becomes smaller and smaller until it's negligible. And I want you to imagine the nanobots continue their work quietly in the background, maintaining, repairing, optimizing, updating your immunity in the same way that you could download antivirus for a computer. This is futuristic technology. No need for vaccines, inoculations. Just imagine the nanobots have identified all of the major issues and enhance your immunity for all of them, reducing the probability that you get sick. But even if you get sick, expect the healing to be more rapid. And I want you to imagine returning to your present with this new lease of life, with all of this rejuvenation, revitalization, re-energization. And just imagine the next few days and weeks. Imagine you simply living your life, feeling stronger, feeling calmer, feeling capable of handling whatever appears, and knowing that growth happens not within the comfort zone, not within what you've always done before, but just beyond it. That's the big breakthrough. Just beyond the comfort zone changes everything. And you are unleashing a desire to intentionally move beyond the comfort zone rather than back away from it. And then imagine that the procedure is finished. You leave that comfortable chair, leave that room, leave the clinic, but with a spring in your step, a newfound feeling of confidence and self-belief, unleashing a desire to seek out the very things you've been avoiding. And as you hold that thought, it's time to return. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken the rejuvenated, revitalized, re-energized, confident version of you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.